Hey guys, what's up? So in this video, I'm answering the question from a viewer. He's asking whether or not he should learn Python or Node. And my opinion, and I want to hear you guys because let's get the community talking, but my opinion is that even though Node is not JavaScript, you're obviously using JavaScript to interact with the Node runtime. And that being said, it's not identical to like what you see in the latest JavaScript, like ES6, ES7, ES8, but it's still very, very close. So I think when it comes to the two, Node should win hands down just because it's JavaScript, and you have to know JavaScript anyway. Because if you're talking Node versus Python, you're probably talking a web development gig, and if you're talking web development, then you have to know JavaScript anyway. So any sort of Python shop out there, they still have to have JavaScript experts that know how to use React and all kinds of client-side tools for Ajax calls. All the HTML5 latest stuff. From video codecs and things like that to WebRTC, local storage, HTML5 canvas. And those are just a few things, right? And then you're talking about CSS animations, probably Flexbox these days, CSS grid. But the thing is like if you're going to be a web developer, you have to know these client-side stuff. You have to know the client-side tools if you really want to be building something groundbreaking. But if you're going to specialize in something, and you're like, okay, do I specialize in Python versus JavaScript, and I'm trying to get a job? And especially if you're a self-taught developer, then JavaScript wins like hands down. So again, if you have to learn JavaScript anyway, that's the reason why you're going to go with Node to get up and running. Now, there is a caveat to that, and this is the big caveat, and that is that Node is a motherfucker sometimes. Like it really is, especially for a new developer, because you're going to get into callback hell. You have to know how promises work, and you have to know how the asynchronous nature of Node.js's runtime works, which is why it's so fast. It's this, the event-based system that's non-blocking. But there's caveats to that. It's all these promise-based things. So, right, you're going to have like a call, and you're going to be like, what the hell? Like I'm looping through something, and the loop didn't finish before it exited out. Like it's because you didn't actually run that code inside your callback function. You end up running into callback hell with Node, and that can be very, very difficult for any sort of beginner developer. And for that reason, Python might win. You know what I mean? So like if you're just getting started and you're like, damn, this Node shit's kind of getting, it's really bothering you. You may want to jump to Python Flask or, yeah, definitely Flask. Just jump with, Python Flask. You're not going to get much easier than that. And it's a full scale web framework that's being used by like Netflix and all kinds of other companies. But it's probably not the best thing for a job. But at the very least, if you're trying to get a job and you have to know JavaScript, you could have a Flask-based website that's going to be a much easier, probably server-side stack than like a hardcore Node.js stack. But if you have a hardcore Express single-page app, using React and React DOM, React router, all have that. If you have all that stuff up and running, or you have an Angular stack that does the same thing, or Vue with Vue router, those types of things. Those are how you're going to be able to stand out. So if you find that you just simply can't get that stack up and running with Node Express, get your single page app, the way you want it, then at that point, it doesn't really hurt to go with one or the other when you're trying to find a job. But the simple fact of the matter is that there are going to be more jobs in JavaScript, right? Every web development company out there, anybody that has a website, they have to write JavaScript. So that's probably going to be how you end up getting your job. But you still have to have a full stack, right, in order to build a portfolio to say, hey, look at this website I built. And then you talk about it. You're like, yeah, I do this for routing, or I use Passport for authentication. That's how you end up. You have communication with people about your stacks. And you end up, telling them what you know, and eventually somebody should give you a shot. That's the way it works. But whatever that stack is, it really doesn't matter. But I think that, if I had my say, I say Node. But then again, I come in with 10 years of experience. So Node, I know, would be a real big struggle for me if I was just starting out versus something like Python and Flask. So it's going to be up to you, but the fact of the matter is that there's more companies that are looking for JavaScript gigs than there are Python, and a lot of the Python jobs you see are all this data scientist stuff. So like you definitely have to have like a bachelor's degree, master's degree, sometimes even a PhD, depending on what their gig is. But that, you know, the machine learning, artificial intelligence, big data stuff, I'm also worried about that being kind of a bubble anyway. So like, I'm worried that like funding could end up drying up on that, because we've actually seen that with artificial intelligence in the past, going all the way back to the 60s. So that could end up happening again. And for that reason, you know, a company where like, you know, all these companies that like kind of demand that you have these, you know, advanced math degrees and things like that in order to do, you know, the work for these jobs, which a lot of times is just data manipulation and data mapping and stuff like that, which is really what we do in the web development world too. But anyway, I'll just go ahead and end the video right here, guys. I think honestly, like, you know, JavaScript, Python, you can't go wrong with either one, but JavaScript's gonna have more jobs and it's gonna be easier for the self-taught dev. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good night. Bye.